Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents The Bartender's Guide to Minding Your Own Business by Sevastian Winters. I'm not your priest, and I'm sure as hell not your therapist, but try telling that to the guy sobbing into his ninth old-fashioned at 2 minutes to closing. The clock's ticking, and so is my patience. He looks up from his ice cubes, eyes shiny, face flushed and miserable. What would you do, man, if she cheated? I pause, bar rag in hand. I glance down at his wedding ring, twisted like it's strangling his finger. I could tell him 1,000 truths he doesn't want to hear. Instead, I pick up his empty glass, polish the bar under it, and say nothing. He waits for my reply, then laughs a sad, sloppy laugh. Yeah, I guess there's no right answer, huh? I slide his tab toward him with practiced neutrality. Take your time. When he leaves, I flip the sign to closed, lock the door, and start stacking glasses. That's the job. Pour drinks, wipe spills, dodge confession. Some guys behind a bar love playing sage, dropping quotes from movies they half remember, dishing out advice nobody asked for. I stick to whiskey and silence. Neither has ever gotten me in trouble. Not yet. Thursday night brings a full house and half the city's emotional baggage. I pour steadily through the evening, working the rail from left to right. A regular named Jessica is halfway through her gin fizz, recounting the fresh disaster that is her dating life. And you know what's hilarious? He says I intimidate him. Me? Intimidating? I nod, keep polishing. She doesn't need my opinion. Jessica's been talking herself through breakups at my bar for 3 years. She's figured out by now that the key to understanding men is to quit trying. Yet here we are again. My eyes drift toward the corner table, where a quiet guy named Mark sits alone, same as always. Mark is different. He never offers his problems up for entertainment. Just drinks, pays in cash, and nods when he leaves. I appreciate a customer who respects the professional boundary between bartender and therapist. Tonight, he waves me over and leans in, speaking quietly. You ever think of owning your own place? Not this bar, maybe, but something yours? I laugh. Sure, and I also think about jumping off the roof into a pit of rattlesnakes after every karaoke night. Mark smiles softly, ignoring the sarcasm. Think about it. He slips an extra 20 on top of his usual tip and leaves me there, polishing an already clean glass. By Saturday, the place is bursting. A dozen new faces, all refugees from some trendy uptown joint where the bartender's latest gimmick is offering life advice between tequila shots. My bar is officially the sanctuary of the unadvised, the church of the happily ignored. One newcomer, a finance type with a tailored suit and a Rolex worth more than my car, leans conspiratorially over his vodka tonic. I heard you're the anti-advice guy. That true? I shrug, pouring bourbon neat for an older regular. I just pour the drinks. Your life's your own business. Brilliant, he laughs, clapping the bar. The wisdom of no wisdom. Fucking zen, man. The older regular smirks at me. He's heard this before. They all have. Zen? Hardly. It's pure self-preservation. Give one person advice and soon you're trapped behind this bar dispensing half-assed wisdom to strangers who'll ignore it anyway. No thanks. I keep quiet. Let them think I've found some secret to life. Turns out silence can look like wisdom if you don't stare too long. At closing, I count the tips. Best night of the month. Funny how the less you give people what they think they want, the more they're willing to pay for it. I pocket the cash and flip the lights off, leaving behind the shadows and echoes of conversations I never asked to hear in the first place. 2 weeks later, the local scene implodes. The life coach bartender uptown decides to host a live advice night. I hear about it all shift. People pulling up Instagram ads, laughing into their beers. I glance at the posts, professionally lit selfies of a smug kid in a tight vest with a slick grin, inviting everyone to bring your toughest problems. It's so ridiculous, I almost admire him. Almost. Our place empties out by 9 on advice night. Everyone heads over, driven by morbid curiosity and boredom. The regulars make me promise I'll drop by. I won't. I already know exactly how that circus ends. 2 hours later, the refugees stagger back in, looking shell-shocked and annoyed. Jessica slides onto her usual stool, exhausted. "It was a total shit show," she groans. "People crying at the bar, couples breaking up on stage. He had no idea what to do." I refill her glass without a word. She sips slowly, shaking her head. "Why did he think that was a good idea?" "Because," I say evenly, wiping down the bar, "bad advice is the easiest thing to sell." A week later, a local journalist turns up on a slow Tuesday. She's perched on a bar stool, notebook in hand, full of serious questions. I already dislike the intensity of her glasses. "I want to understand your philosophy," she begins earnestly. "People call you the Zen bartender, the anti-advice guy. What does it all mean?" I stare at her notebook. "It means I pour drinks." She leans closer. "But why no advice? Do you think silence is more powerful?" I shrug. "I think my job's to keep glasses full and mouths shut." The next day, the local magazine runs a feature titled "Zen and the Art of Pouring Bourbon." It paints me as some kind of silent mystic, guiding lost souls with strategic indifference. There's a glossy picture of me polishing glasses, looking thoughtfully out a window. I don't even remember the photographer. "Fucking ridiculous," I say, reading the article aloud at closing time. Jessica chuckles into her glass. "Relax, you're famous now." I toss the magazine into the trash. "Great, maybe they'll tip better." But fame has consequences. Customers triple overnight. Lines stretch around the block on weekends, full of the curious, hopeful, and desperately confused. They wait hours to get ignored by the wise bartender who never speaks. Even Mark, quiet and reserved as always, seems amused by it all. "You've built a religion by accident," he says softly one night. "Not my religion," I shoot back, pouring him his usual neat scotch. Just then, the door swings open and in walks the life coach bartender himself. Vest tight, confidence tighter. He scans the packed room, eyes narrowing when he sees me. He walks up to the bar, smiling like we're old friends. "Hey, I've got a proposition." "Not interested," I reply instantly. "Advice showdown," he persists, loud enough for others to hear. "You versus me. People bring questions. We each give advice. Winner takes bragging rights." I stare at him flatly. Sounds terrible. But everyone's listening now. Phones out, already posting, live streaming the challenge I didn't accept. He grins, leaning in. Come on, unless the Zen master's afraid his silence won't hold up under pressure. The bar falls silent. Every eye lands on me, waiting. I keep pouring, keep quiet. But the son of a bitch won't leave until he gets an answer. The showdown's set for Friday. It's happening whether I want it or not. Customers push tables aside to clear a makeshift stage near the jukebox. Somebody wheels in a microphone and an amplifier. I watch, leaning against the back wall, trying not to grimace as the life coach bartender strides in at 8 sharp, blowing kisses like some kind of motivational guru. His smugness practically fogs my glasses. The bar's packed wall to wall, bodies pressed tight, murmurs buzzing through the air. Jessica gives me a reassuring look that does nothing to reassure me. Mark's in his usual corner, watching intently, unreadable. I feel the weight of expectation pushing on me from all sides. The kid takes the mic first, jumping straight into his shtick, dishing slick, rehearsed answers to 7 people with 7 predictable problems. He gives them even more predictable answers. The crowd nods politely at first, then restlessly. Nobody came for boilerplate platitudes. Then it's my turn. All eyes swing toward me. The mic feels foreign in my hand, heavier than I expected. I step onto the makeshift stage, pause for a long second. Hundreds of faces stare, phones record. They wait eagerly for the first words of advice I've ever publicly given them. I look down at the mic, then at the crowd. In the front row, Jessica's eyes widen slightly, as if pleading with me not to break my silence now. Fuck it. I lower the mic. I pick up a fresh bottle from the bar and pour a shot. Then another, and another. I line them up silently, one by one, across the table in front of the 7 people asking for advice. The crowd's silence grows heavier. Uneasy laughter spreads and ripples. I pour myself one too. I toast them silently. We drink. I don't speak. Not a single word. For 30 seconds, 40, 50, a full minute. Then I pick up the mic and I give my advice. Handle your shit and mind your own fucking business. I drop the mic and find my way back behind the bar where I belong. The laughter, like the applause, starts slow, grows louder, clearer. First confusion, then delight, then something like applause. They get it. The kid watches, stunned, as people line up for my wordless drinks, toasting me silently, grinning, nodding. I start bussing the bar, taking fresh drink orders as I go. Compliments about my advice fall on deaf ears. What they think about what I said is none of my fucking business. In the aftermath, the bar business explodes again, but this time it's different. Customers show up quieter, respectful. They drink, nod, and tip outrageously well. Nobody asks for advice. Nobody tries to pry wisdom from me. They've learned to value silence, or at least pretend to. Mark stops late one night, long after everyone else has left. He slides an envelope across the bar. Open it. I unfold the paper inside. A check. Enough zeros to make my head spin. I raise an eyebrow, suddenly suspicious. No strings, Mark says quietly. Just enough for your own bar. A quiet one, maybe. All yours. I study him carefully. Why? He shrugs lightly, finishing his scotch. Because you're the only person in this town smart enough to shut up. Terms? I ask. Keep doing what you do. What's in it for you? I make more than that in an afternoon, he says. Consider it a tip. He slips out without another word, leaving me alone with the check, the bottles, and the comfortable hum of neon. Tonight, the bar is mine. I bought it. Nothing changed. Same name, same old scene. Jessica's laughing in the corner, a bourbon in hand. Mark sits quietly, sipping his free drink slowly. His money's no good here. The room is full but calm, buzzing with conversation and contented murmurs. A new kid behind the bar looks nervous, wiping glasses repeatedly. He leans over, anxious. Hey, you're a legend. People still ask why you never give advice. Got any tips for me? I pause. There's so much I could tell him. About silence, about irony, about how funny it is that people ask questions they don't want answered. I glance around, the irony settling warm in my gut. I've built my life around not giving answers. No point in breaking the streak now. Yeah, I say finally, sliding a whiskey toward him. Keep the drinks full, keep your mouth shut, mind your own fucking business. He laughs quietly, shaking his head. Best advice I've ever heard. Only advice I've got.